It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And this is CarEdge Live for Tuesday, November 19th, ladies and gentlemen, with your hosts, me, Ray, and, well, handsome himself, Zach. What's going on there, handsome?
Love it, man. I do feel handsome today. Thank you. Dad, CarEdge.com. Our Black Friday sale is ripping and roaring, folks. If you're in the market to buy a new or used vehicle, CarEdge.com. For the first time ever, $100 off our concierge car buying service. Just go to buy a car buying service, $100 off. Like I said, first time we've ever done a promotion for CarEdge Concierge. And have no fear, you can see all the deals we've gotten for our community. Just scroll down, click on see more deals, and you can see all the deals and discounts we're getting for the community, and 25% off CarEdge Insights. Get the tools to beat the dealer. Check it out, CarEdge.com. Everything free under research. Dad, the big story this morning.
No. The big story this morning, if I may.
Yeah, the big story this morning.
The big story this morning is that CarEdge was featured in Automotive News, the industry newspaper, in regards to F&I practices and how F&I is an area that can be improved for consumers. We're mentioned prominently because, well, hell, it was our survey. And if you scroll down, there is a rather impressive picture of our CEO. And well, that to me, when we are part and parcel of what the industry decides are important characters within it, well, then I couldn't be prouder. And for these two knuckleheads, okay, who people think, oh, they're only here and they talk about stupid stuff every day and they put out all these stupid videos. Well, no, we actually have a real company behind us that is doing very important things within the industry to help improve the industry for both car dealers, manufacturers, I guess it's more than both, and consumers alike. So I am really proud of you, handsome.
Thank you so much, Dad. Really appreciate you bringing that up. And my favorite thing about this, an October CarEdge survey of 500 car buyers found well-informed shoppers had the highest average satisfaction. If you do not think that we, drink our own Kool-Aid, folks, like we do, the more empowered you can be, the more informed you can be when you go to buy a car, the more satisfied you're going to be. And congratulations to us and our team for getting the industry publication Automotive News to pick up on that. It's a revolution, Dad. It's crazy. It's shocking, some might say, that more informed customers have higher satisfaction. Congrats to the CarEdge team for this awesome accomplishment.
And that it helps.
The Wall Street Journal picked us up as well, which was
yes. I couldn't be prouder of what it is that I know you look at, say you and I are building it, but the truth of the matter is I couldn't be prouder of what the hell you're building. I'm just along for the ride and a pretty face. You are really the person that's greasing the wheels and making it all happen.
Pops, I think I got my audio coming through more clearly now.
You do. I was going to mention that. Yeah.
All right. Next time, feel free to do it before the show, but we can save that for next time. All right. Let's get into the big news. Let's get into the big news, baby.
Yes.
All right. Hyundai is in the crosshairs today, Dad. They made a huge mistake, and I'm here to call it out first. I'm curious what you're going to think of this. Hyundai appoints a new CEO, Jose Munoz, for their global CEO position. Yeah. Why is this a mistake, Dad? Why could this possibly be a mistake? Let's jump over to LinkedIn. For those of you that are interested, you can connect with me or my dad over on LinkedIn. But today we're going to look at Mr. Munoz's, his LinkedIn. Dad, what I want to focus on here is his career experience.
Yes.
He was in charge of performance at none other than Nissan. Okay. Yeah. What company, what OEM has struggled the most as of late? I think, keep me honest here, I think it has something to do with Nissan bringing back their stair-step incentive program that dealers hate. I think it might have something to do with Nissan having a 99% decline in operating profits year over year. It might be Nissan, Dad, that is really in a bad position. And who was in charge of performance at Nissan during that time that set them up for this? Well, part of it was Mr. Munoz. And so, Dad, as we
Yes.
welcome a new CEO to a company that is already trying to take on some pretty aggressive tactics with dealers. For example, Hyundai piloted a program or has a program with Amazon, which is pissing off their dealer network. Hyundai also, Dad, if I
Yes.
can, I'll show you here. We come over to Cox Automotive, market days supply of inventory. Hyundai has a 111 days supply of inventory. Okay. That's bad. That means dealers have too many cars sitting on the ground that aren't selling. Hyundai, I think, is on the path of Nissan, which is no bueno for the automaker, but could be great, like absolutely fantastic for consumers. An oversupply, aggressive incentives for the dealers on the stair step, and potentially aggressive incentives for the consumers too to try and move the metal. What do you think of my analysis here, Pops?
What did he do after he left Nissan? Just out of curiosity.
All right, let's come back over here.
Yeah, I mean, because we can hang out in LinkedIn for a minute.
Chief Operating Officer at Hyundai, Dad.
In the United States.
Global.
No, global. So, I would say that over the 5 years and 8 months that he's done this job, Hyundai Kia has experienced some pretty impressive growth.
True.
So maybe he took the good things he learned from Nissan and not necessarily the bad things, because I personally don't recall hearing of stair-step programs at Hyundai Kia dealers. I could be wrong. I don't know.
No,
that.
I don't think we've ever seen stair-step
Yeah.
programs at Hyundai Kia. But as inventory builds up, what levers do you have to pull if you're an executive there? I mean, he was obviously, keep me honest here, Dad, Nissan has been notorious for having stair-step programs.
Yeah, but that was because of Carlos Ghosn, the former CEO. He was the major proponent of that. I'm guessing that Jose picked the good things, left out the bad. We have seen tremendous growth at Hyundai. Is it a huge mistake? I don't know. He's going to be the global CEO now.
Mhm.
It must mean that someone in South Korea sees good things
Mhm.
from this guy to put him in a position to oversee their global operations of everything. But only time will tell. I think I would be more concerned if he came from the Carlos Tavares coaching tree than.
I will say that
Carlos.
I was talking to an owner who
Yeah.
owns multiple dealerships, like pretty much every single brand.
Yes.
And he was adamant that this is a mistake. And I think he's partial to that right now because of the fact that Hyundai has such an oversupply of inventory. Hyundai has more of an oversupply of inventory than Nissan. Okay, look to the right of my head on the screen. You see where it says Mercedes-Benz?
Yes.
They have 106 days supply of inventory. Then Nissan,
Yes.
109 days supply of inventory. Keep going over to the right. Genesis and Hyundai at 111 days. So this dealer that I was talking to, Dad, said, oh, crap. We have Nissan dealerships. We know how terrible our relationship with the OEM is there, how much they try and push and pressure us with these stair-step programs because of an oversupply of inventory, because that's how they've set up their businesses. Oh, no, that's coming to Hyundai next. He said they're afraid. He said they're really not excited for this transition at Hyundai. And it just made me wonder, Dad, because Hyundai, we could
Yes.
pull back the data from a year ago, 2 years ago. Hyundai did not have an oversupply of inventory.
They did not.
We had Palisades selling over MSRP.
Yes.
Not today, man. 111 days supply is through the roof.
No, their day supply has gone up, and their commitment to EV growth is stronger than most of the other brands out there. So perhaps on the EV side of things, they've hitched their wagon to the wrong type of propulsion system. I don't know, or maybe they're just being too aggressive, moving as swiftly as they are into the EV market. It's dealers who have those brands would have a much better understanding of this than, say, an outsider such as myself.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I look at Hyundai Kia Genesis growth in the last 5 years, and it really has been pretty staggering.
It has.
Okay.
Absolutely.
If you were a Hyundai Kia Genesis dealer, you would be excited about the direction those brands have gone the sales increases that they have seen, the desirability of the vehicles that they have produced. So I find it, in my mind, hard to believe that a dealer principal of one of those brands would be particularly concerned that Jose Munoz was named global CEO. I just think that there's been way too many positives over the last 5 years and 8 months to extrapolate out of this that, okay, everything's going to go to hell in a handbasket in a week.
I don't know about a week, but maybe a year, man. You cannot sustain 111 days supply of inventory. Dad, let's come here to the chat. We've got from General Feld Marshal F.W. von Mueller. Mouthful. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Thanks for your service. Zach, why can't I get dealer invoice pricing on your website for this VIN? I don't know. Let's test it out, Dad. Give me a second here.
Well, maybe he doesn't have insights, but that's besides the point. He's going to figure out the workaround, and that's to send you a question. And
all right, what's
rather than pay $39.99 a month, he's paying you $5. Okay, JT DB CMF E5S 3071481.
VIN not found. So let's Google search this. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on that VIN. So the CarEdge car search works with vehicles that are actively listed for sale.
Maybe the VIN is inaccurate.
Could also be a typo in the VIN. So, but we do for all new vehicles have invoice pricing, so it should work. But I would say our help email address is help@caredge.com. The team can absolutely help you out there. We've got that from.
It says you missed a C in the VIN. Let's try it again.
Okay.
You gotta bring up the thing so I can see it. JT DBC. No.
MF no 6. Okay. Woo! Interesting.
Sometimes we don't type well or I don't read well.
This is interesting. Yeah, this doesn't have the market insight section on it. Hey, Justice, I see you're here in the chat with us. Can you tag the team and ask them to take a peek at this? We do have a dealer invoice range over on the right here, which is good. So you do get some data, but that's not for this particular vehicle. That's the range of MSRPs. Yeah. So Justice, thank you for being here. If you don't mind, can we ask the team to take a peek at that? And sorry, folks, that I had a typo in there. Let's keep going.
Okay.
From Zach, thanks for all your help with my technical issues over the weekend, Zach. You and the CarEdge support team are rock stars. There you go. Love that.
What did you do to help Zach?
I don't want to make this a whole self-promo show, Dad. We have touched on very little news, so let's keep it moving if that's okay. From Frank, are Black Book numbers available through CarEdge Insights? Yes, they absolutely are. So again, if I'm back in my CarEdge account, I can go to my homepage right here, and from here I can click on My Insights. And from here, I can scroll down and I can get my Black Book valuation right there. Just plug a VIN, odometer, state, get my Black Book value. So you've got your My Insights hub back on CarEdge.com. All right, Dad. The other story I wanted to talk about today, it's about the domestic automakers. We've been covering things with domestic automakers for a long time now, but we have some new data. Car Dealership Guy just posted this earlier today. He actually cited some of the data our team put out. Ford is facing a massive inventory challenge. Over 200,000 trucks on dealer lots today, just under 1,000 are 2025 models. Meanwhile, 5,063 of those trucks are still new. 2023 is a somewhat troubling sign for the automaker this late in the year. But for consumers waiting on the sidelines, Ford's excess inventory will likely lead to deeper year-end discounts and bring more buyers into the fold. This, Dad, from Ford, at the same time, Stellantis, we now have a page on Automotive News that is just dedicated to all the layoffs going on at Stellantis, which is the parent company of Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Jeep Gladiator plant moving to one shift, 400 jobs cut at Detroit parts facility. End of the Ram 1500 Classic prompts 1,100 layoffs. More layoffs before the Ram EV debut. 256 jobs. Salaried buyout program. I don't even have the article up, Dad, right now, which I should grab, for General Motors, who laid off 1,000 people as well. So we started the start of the show, we started the show talking about there's a new executive who was previously at Nissan, which is that business is in a bad place, who's now leading Hyundai. Hyundai's not good in firm footing right now. And who knows, maybe they're going to do well. Maybe they'll go the way of Nissan. And all the while, you have the domestic automakers, Dad, who seemingly are in even worse shape. You've got Ford with hundreds of thousands of vehicles on dealer lots that are not selling, Stellantis with an entire page dedicated to layoffs, and General Motors doing layoffs as well. Overarching car market reset theme, I think, is strong right now.
Well, and you have issues with many of your European automakers, issues with Mercedes-Benz, VW, laying off people in Germany, closing plants in Germany, first time ever. So, yeah, the issues run deep in the industry at the moment. Will it lead to a reset? Only if CEOs and upper echelon executives take a different view as to what it is that they need to be building and trying to sell. And we talk about it all the time, but in my mind, it always will come back to affordability and increasing the number of people who can potentially buy your vehicle rather than contracting the number of people who can potentially buy your vehicle. And the way you expand that, in my mind, is to offer more affordable vehicles in price ranges that the American public deems that they need, which is in the $20,000 to $30,000 price range. And at the extreme end of that, for the vast majority of Americans, it would be the $40,000 price range, not the $50,000 to $80,000, not the $60,000 to $100,000+ for trucks. So we do see issues across the board in the industry that will only be impacted if executives change their ways.
It's not just the executives, that's the whole companies. Entire companies have to evolve how they're operating. And so, that Ford data, the Nissan data that we talked about, the Hyundai data, just the list goes on and on. The challenges are robust and severe. And I just want to remind everyone, there was a period of time where we did this show where we were not, pulling up landing pages on the industry publication Automotive News about layoffs. We were pulling up landing pages talking about the number of vehicles not being produced because of the chip shortage, right? Like, we spent months. We used to look at that data every single week. They would update it. You remember that page, Dad? It was like, I forget what the company was, but some company put out their estimate for globally and domestically how many vehicles were not being produced because of the chip shortage. That was the story back then. And that led to a really challenging market for consumers and a really great market for automakers. They had all the pricing power. Now the landing pages that we pull up are about layoffs, folks, and oversupply of inventory. That's a 180.
Well, the other landing pages that we used to pull up regularly were the announcements that every one of these manufacturers made about how much money they were now planning to invest in EV development. And, at a certain point, the proposed investments reached like $500 billion. It was 30 billion here, 40 billion there, 15 billion here. And a lot of those billions were bad bets, and we're seeing that today. They're negatively impacting what we see going on at these manufacturers today. So, the landing pages have changed. The landscape has changed. The landscape will continue to change because we know that we're not going to see the same type of push towards EVs moving forward. Because there's going to be a lack of government subsidies in order to encourage people to buy them. So the whole industry is like changing like that.
It's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call, Dad. It's a market reset. That's for sure. I do want to let everyone know, in addition to talking about how dire the situation is. We do put out a lot of content. I'm pulling up my TikTok, Dad, for example. I did $30,000 or less small SUVs you should consider buying in 2024. Like, that's a great video. It's on TikTok. It's over on Instagram. Just search CarEdge to find those. So we're also putting out a lot of great information about the affordable options that are out there.
Yes.
So while we're doing all this, woe is me, the industry is resetting, there are good options. Like that whole video, I talk about Mazda ad nauseum because holy cow, the CX-5, CX-50 represent good values. Let's come back to the chat here, Dad. Logan saying, what happened to all those trucks at Kentucky Speedway during the chip shortage? They went to dealer lots, baby. And you had to look at the manufacturer date plate to know that you were buying a new truck that had been sitting around for 6 months.
Yeah, absolutely. They eventually got their chips and they made their way to the dealers. And perhaps some of those 5,000 plus new 2023 Ford pickup trucks could be some of those for all we know.
Yeah, can you remind us, where do you get to see? How do you know when a vehicle is actually manufactured?
There's a vehicle manufacturer plate on the inside of the driver's side pillar. It'll list the VIN number and it'll list the month and year in which the vehicle was produced. I'm going to sneeze.
He's going to sneeze. All right, Dad, let's keep moving here. MJB gave us a thoughtful contribution. Thank you, MJB, with a question. Hypothetical. A dealer has a $100,000 car. What is their monthly floor plan cost for that car? Let me see if I can pull up our floor plan calculator. Give me a second here. Floor plan costs. Let me share. That's great. So we actually built a very simple Excel spreadsheet to walk through this.
Doesn't get any simpler than this.
Yep. Floor plan cost or vehicle cost, 100,000. Floor plan interest rate. This fluctuates, obviously, based on what that organization, what that company has. But 7% seems very reasonable right now, even as the Fed funds rate has come down a little bit.
Depends how long they're 30 days.
It's costing them $575 per month.
Yep. Do the math.
No wonder they want to get rid of these things.
Yeah. What's that?
We've got from
that's $7,200 for the year.
It's a lot of money, man. We've got from No Name, got a $50 Amazon gift card for test driving a 2024 Jeep Wrangler 4x8. I think we're going to see a lot of gift cards being given away here over the next couple of weeks and months, Dad, as these dealers are trying to get customers in their doors.
Absolutely. And, that practice has been going on for as long as we've been selling cars, even before Amazon existed. It might have been a Sears gift card back in the 60s. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you do whatever you need to do to get people in to test drive something. And the hope is that once they're in it, they're going to go, oh my God, I had no idea that it was this wonderful. And then maybe they'll buy it. Or they're going to go, my gosh, I understand why these sit. One of the two reactions is going to happen.
Yep, exactly. From Auburn alum. So good to see you here in the chat. Thank you for second CarEdge purchase. I just picked up a 2024 BMW X5 PHEV, certified, and got a great trade-in and deal. Ray's wisdom and Zach's support. Thank you. What a beautiful vehicle. The X5s, Dad, are gorgeous.
They are indeed. Yeah. And you're the positive support, and I'm the cynical wisdom. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I think that pretty much sums it up in reality.
Hey, that's really, really incredible, Auburn alum. Thank you so much for the kind contribution.
Congratulations.
I'm so grateful that we were able to help. Dad, we've got here from Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. WTB, what do you think? What does that mean? Want to buy an Odyssey? There we go. Want to buy a Honda Odyssey or Sienna with under 80,000 miles? Should I think about something else? Those are two vehicles, just on the grand scheme of things, that are going to be fairly reliable, even at 80,000 miles. Correct, Dad? And while you're answering that,
yes.
I'm gonna go to the research hub and let's put those vehicles in.
Yeah, I think typically Toyotas and Hondas are two of the more reliable vehicles, and 80,000 miles is next to nothing on those type of vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, you can see here, Dad, I went to through the research hub, I went to the Odyssey. Now I'm looking at maintenance costs, which also tells me the likelihood of a major repair. And I know we're talking mileage and not years here, but still, like, the repair probability is fairly low. Yeah, and you can see there is a 21.58% chance the Odyssey will require a major repair in its first 10 years of service. That's 4.39% better than similar vehicles in the segment. If I jump back to the Odyssey, let me come here and we're going to do Toyota, and now we're going to do the Toyota Sienna. And now on the Sienna, let me scroll down to cost of own and then maintenance. There you go. There's a 16.49% chance the Sienna will require a major repair. That's 9.48% better than similar vehicles in the same. So actually the Sienna
is a much better purchase than the Honda would be, because it tends to be more reliable than the Honda at this point.
There you go, Matthew. I'd be looking at the Toyota. That's great data.
I've been, not to pat myself on the back, but I've been telling you to this is the type of data that we really need to get into people's hands, and we really need to emphasize the importance of it, because you just were able to, in a matter of seconds, compare two similar vehicles and find out which one over the long term would be cheaper, much cheaper to maintain, and has a much lower likelihood of needing a major repair. That's information that people need when they're trying to make a determination as to what they should buy, because you have to factor all that in. You're not just buying the car today, you're buying the future of what you should expect to happen to that car. And this is gold. This is gold.
I'm excited, Dad, because our car comparison feature is coming out really soon, and then that way we'll just be able to put them side by side and take a peek. But yes, it's coming soon. I think the team showed you that? That's coming soon. You've seen it.
Yes.
Yeah. You're pretty excited for that, I think.
Yes,
we've got from
should be.
Dreadnought. Thank you, Dreadnought. Does CarEdge have used car title fraud detection? No.
No, I don't know anybody that really does. I mean, you could say Carfax, but oftentimes that could be after the fact. Somebody could buy it with a good Carfax, and then it turns out later that Carfax found, there was an issue with the title, and that gets reported after somebody else has already bought it. So I don't know anybody that has good real-time car title fraud detection.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's like the fraud is rampant out there, and we don't have a solution on that front, sadly.
No.
Yeah, I wish we did, but unfortunately, we do not. Well, Pups, that was all I had for today, man. That was all I had. Although, if you'd like, we can go to our favorite segment.
Really? You've got to be kidding me.
After Hertz workers abandon their location, customers show up and take whatever rental cars they want. Dozens of customers, including the mayor of Denver, were left clueless after showing up to a deserted Hertz in New York. What company, aside from Stellantis, gets more negative press? Hertz or Stellantis, folks? Who gets more negative press? This story is asinine, Dad. There were workers in Syracuse, New York, abandoned their posts, and customers just took whatever rental cars they wanted. Can you believe that?
Without any signed rental car agreements?
CBS News reports that over 20 travelers who arrived at the Hertz in Syracuse this summer were met with a surreal scene when they walked in. The building was totally empty because apparently every single worker had walked out. One of those customers was Mike Johnston, the mayor of Denver, Colorado. Johnston was in New York for a summer program his son was attending. Quote, "We showed up and the rental car company was closed," he told CBS. So rather than wait or look for someone, Johnston and other customers, took matters into their own hands. Get out of here, advertisement. We don't. Okay. All right. Get out of here. So Johnston and many others, Hertz customers who had reservations, just found Hertz cars with keys in them and drove away. So we took one we thought was for us, said Johnston, who said he later found out the car he took was not the correct one and exchanged it for a different one. Can you believe this?
Well, that is one way to run a rental car agency and keep your employee costs down. Okay. Think of it. There's no hourly wage. There's no benefits. Okay. You're just hoping that your customers show back up with those cars when they say it's time to show back up. Wow. Wow. I can tell you, in all my years of working for dealerships and being in business and things, I have never seen a situation where, like, I don't know, everybody just walks the hell out and customers walk in. It's that's pretty remarkable.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that. We've got from Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. Hertz,
Yeah.
so good.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's
we
good.
should run that company.
No, dude, I have no interest running Hertz. I am having more fun than I've ever had before here at CarEdge. Again, folks, if you're in the market, or if you know anyone who's in the market to buy a new vehicle, or let me be clear, we also have insurance. If you want to shop and save on auto insurance, go to caredge.com/insurance, or go to caredge.com and click on insurance. Refinance, we can help you with car refinance, auto refinance. If you need to sell a vehicle, the warranty protection products, obviously buying a vehicle, research, the car search, getting pricing on vehicles as well. All of that and so much more back at caredge.com. Dad, let's call it a show. We'll do it again tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Mountain time, 11 a.m. Central time, and 12 p.m. Eastern here on CarEdge Live.
And for those of you who couldn't get enough of me, I'll be back on the air in about an hour with Brandon from Car Questions Answered for our own program called Car Sense. So if you want to listen to me talk for, I don't know, close to another 2 hours with a dear friend of mine, please stop on by.
Love you, Dad. Have some fun.
Love you too.